Hello. I thought that I would do a quick video on the gear that I finished the TA with. I've been back in Australia 2 days now, and I still don't really know how I feel about the fact that the trail is over. I think I'm a bit stunned. It's lovely to be at home, but yeah, I don't think it's really sunk in even now. But look, I'm just going to quickly go through what I ended up with equipment wise. Okay, you'll know from the previous videos, this is the Z-Pack ultra lightweight pack. It was like 740 grams, 62 litres, with all of the additional pockets that I got, these pockets here. It's held up really well. I did notice that it was a little bit twisted around the belt. It would keep going, shifting around to the right hand side. But maybe that's because I always fed my right arm through the pack and maybe it just distorted the frame a bit. But otherwise it's held up really well. I think I've got a few more hikes, shorter hikes that I can take this pack with. This is the pack liner, and it's waterproof and it was great. I mean, particularly on that last day when we were walking in the rain and we were in the rain for 12 hours, nothing got wet. It was all in this bag. I do tend to put everything also in its own individual bag, but this was just additional safety, and it's very, very light, so well worth having. And that's a Z-Pack line. My clothing, don't really need to explain my clothing. I had one set of clothing I walked in, and one set that I slept in. I've got a couple of clothing items which I did want to point out because I found them particularly useful, but generally thermals for night time, and you saw what I wore during the day. That was it, didn't have anything else. The sleeping bag, my sleeping bag was a Z-Pack Mummy, and it was brilliant, particularly when it started to get colder. It really, really helped. The only night that I actually felt really cold was that one night at Stolly's hut, and it was so cold. But that was minus, I don't know, it would have been -2 or 3 that night. But this is the Z-Pack sleeping bag. I got a broader one because I like to have room. Yep, thoroughly recommend it. It's very comfortable. I will now do a lot of shaking and keep it aired to try and get all of the down kind of throughout, because when you sleep on it, it tends to get a bit kind of flat. But that's the sleeping bag. It was excellent. Duplex tent. Again, I found it excellent. You get condensation in any tent. It doesn't matter what tent you've got, you're going to get the condensation. So when there was a change in temperature, yes, got that. But it held up really well. It was good in the rain, it was good in the wind. Kept the sandflies out, so that was good. And my tent pegs, they're the Z-Pack shorter tent pegs. Okay, clothing of note. Because I was getting particularly cold, I ended up buying for the last 3 or 4 weeks these MacPack Alpine Series soft shell pants, and they were excellent because they were water resistant, but they also had a lining which really helped to keep me warm. I loved these pants. I don't know how I could have got through the last few weeks without them. Okay, the other waterproof I had was again MacPack, really lightweight waterproof pants. These were brilliant as well. Again, the Alpine Series. I popped these over the top of those pants on my last day, but these are really lightweight, and they did really well. It doesn't matter how good your raincoat is and your wet weather gear, eventually you end up feeling wet, and you are wet, but it held up really well. And then, of course, my rain jacket, Hunter Element, which is actually a hunting one, and it was far too big, but in a way that was good because it completely came down over my bottom and kept me dry. And but again, after 12 hours, it did allow water in. I was wet, but it kept me warm. So that's good. I think at this point, before this falls over, I just want to explain why I've got all these maps of New Zealand around me. This is the one that I bought before I left, and it's I think it's Denise Map Art, and it's the map of both the North and the South Island, and then the red line is where the Te Araroa actually travels. So I bought that before I even left, and I love it. But the ones that you can see here and here are maps that my parents did. My mother in particular, whenever I text her to say where I was, or I spoke to her and told her where I was, she would put a pin in the board, which is lovely. So she did it for the, oh, I've just realised, oh yeah, she did it for the North Island, and then she also did it for the South. So it's a great memento, and she enjoyed doing that, following my journey. So that's why I'm just surrounded by maps, but I wanted to share that with you. Okay, now, that's gonna slip. Stay. Okay, walking poles. Compodel. These are from Austria, and they were brilliant. They didn't fail at all. They still look in reasonable condition. The cork is all intact. That's all they do, I think, is make trekking poles. So Compodel, and they're from Austria. They're not cheap, but well worth it. Okay, something that I used, if not every day, every other day, a seat mat. It's a Z-Pack one. It's a bit thin in places, but that was excellent, really, really useful. This is a lightweight bag, and this was so useful because whenever you have to do resupply, you've got somewhere to put your stuff. When you need to do laundry, you put your dirty clothes in it, take it to the laundry. So a lightweight bag, it was wonderful. My mother gave me that, actually. Okay, I had the Flex Tail inflatable mattress, and when you blow it up, it doesn't look like it would be comfortable, but it is. It's got all these circular cells in it, and I had a lamp, but it's also a pump. And initially I thought, oh God, I'm gonna feel like an idiot using a pump to blow up the mattress, but it literally pumps it up in 20 seconds, and it's a job you don't have to do at the end of the day. So I ended up loving this. It was great. I just plug it in, 20 seconds later, mattress done. And then I also had the Flex Tail pillow, which when you blow it up is very, very comfortable because it's actually thinner on one side and then goes up a bit at the back. So very happy. Flex Tail, great products. My electronics, because they were heavy, 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 but necessary. So I had my PLB, my head torch, my InReach satellite phone, which I found really useful on the South Island. Not so much on the North Island, but definitely the South Island came into its own. And then I had 20,000 night core power bank, and this was enough for me. Even when we did Richmond Range, you know, it lasted for 7 days because we came off at Aniseed Valley and then resupplied and went back in. So yes, it was excellent and sufficient. This is my first aid kit. All I really had in here were Panadol, Nurofen, a little stretch bandage, lots of plasters, betadine, scissors, Lemsip, that was it. Now all of these little bags that are also waterproof, they're either from a company called Orb Ultralight in Australia or Ultralight Hiker, which is also Australian, and they are excellent. I mean, 8 grams for these 2 little bags. One I just used for my passport and money, and the other one I kept all my teas in. This is another one of the lightweight bags, and that's what I had all my toiletries in. The actual bag, it's about 30 grams. It weighs absolutely nothing. The This bag was a bigger one again, all ultralight or ultralight hiker. And then I had my food bag, which has got a zip, and it was excellent because you could zip it up, roll it down, hook it up, and the mice did not get in it. So if you're concerned about mice, get one of these food bags. I had a container which I used for food. This is my pack cover. That's my little towel that I took. Titanium plate. Now, I found this really useful. And the reason why is because even if I didn't eat from it, when I put it down, particularly if the area you were in was dirty, you could put your spoons down on it and your cup, and you could just keep it all contained. That's maybe a me thing. I don't know, it might not bother other people, but I liked having my plate and putting things on it. There are my socks. I had my titanium Tokes cooking pot, which was sufficient. I didn't need any bigger than that. My plastic cup and my little stove top that went on the top, and it's still going, so I'm going to keep it, even though it's the loudest one compared to everybody else's who all had the really nice quieter pocket rocket jet boil, and mine was like a jet engine. But it's still working, so I'm going to keep it. I had the Knock water bag, which I would fill up, and then the soya squeeze to filter all of my water. That's still going well. A pair of sunglasses, trowel, and all I ever used was 2 spoons, and I got a little Swiss Army pocket knife, which had a little knife and scissors on, and that's I kept in my bag with my tea. And the other thing, the carabiners, and these were really useful because I had them on in the pockets of my pack. For instance, my hut shoes, which were the Birkenstocks, which I don't know, they're somewhere else. I could clip onto the pack, so I never lost anything. So these are invaluable. So I clipped everything that was on the outside of my pack, was ultimately one of these going through it and clipped onto the pack, so I never lost anything. So they were excellent. The last thing is this little Osprey totally waterproof pouch, and I used to keep it on my chest here and fed the strap through, and I kept my mobile phone in here, so every time I needed my mobile phone to film, I could just unzip it, take it out, and it is totally waterproof when you seal it at the top. And it's still, the zip is starting to get a little bit faulty because of opening and closing it, but thoroughly recommend that too. Okay, well that's the gear that I finished with. Judy and I had very similar gear, and her pack has also held up well. I mean, there's wear and tear, but you'd expect that after 3,000 kilometers. So that's my gear. So thank you for watching. I don't know how many more videos I'll be able to do on the TA. If I can get together with Judy, maybe we'll do a little bit of a catch up on what we're doing and where we're at. I did mention that I was going to do an ultra trail run, and I've actually registered for that, so I'll be doing that in July, and I'll be training for that. And then in September I'll be going to Europe with my husband, and we're doing the Eurovelo bike packing trip. So all of my hiking skills and gear and everything that I've learned doing it with a backpack and walking will be transferred then onto a bike. And I'm not the best cyclist, but I'm getting better. So if you're interested, then I will be uploading videos on every day that we do when we go there in September. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll keep you posted on all the things that I will be doing in the future, and got lots of plans, so which is great. All right, well thank you for watching, and bye for now.